Plot Twist TV.
Alright, boom. I want to do a story time. Let me know if y'all are interested. But about how I moved in with somebody who was getting evicted and didn't let me know. And then later on, they got at my boyfriend at the time. And then later on, I got falsely arrested. Later on, I got framed, accused of stealing jewelry and vandalizing an apartment. Never did. Pretty much, yeah, it ended up on Judge Judy. Should I give y'all a story time? Alright, boom. I want to do a story time. Let me know if y'all are interested. But about how I moved in with somebody who was getting evicted and didn't let me know. And then later on, they got at my boyfriend at the time. And then later on, I got falsely arrested. Later on, I got framed, accused of stealing jewelry and vandalizing an apartment. Never did. Pretty much, yeah, it ended up on Judge Judy. Should I give y'all a story time? Alright, boom. I want to do a story time. Let me know if y'all are interested. But about how I moved in with somebody who was getting evicted and didn't let me know. And then later on, they got at my boyfriend at the time. And then later on, I got falsely arrested. Later on, I got framed, accused of stealing jewelry and vandalizing an apartment. Never did. Pretty much, yeah, it ended up on Judge Judy. Should I give y'all a story time? Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of how I ended up with a crazy ass roommate who basically tried to put me in jail with lies and took me on Judge Judy. And before I get started with part 2, I just want to let you guys know information I forgot to mention in the first video, which was there were other people living there as well, which other roommates, which was his best friend, we'll just call her Brianna, and his cousin Chad. We'll call him Chad. Okay, so y'all, so basically months go by of us, me and Roberto, building this friendship after I move in, and we're not super close, but we're still closer than we were before. But yeah, just to get this story on a roll, 3 months go by. 2 weeks prior to when all the main events happened, I was basically told we were being evicted, and that the process basically began in April. Mind you, y'all, I moved in what? June. And not just that, y'all, but I only had 2 weeks to figure out somewhere to go. And then on top of all that, the apartment was never in Roberto's name. It was in his sister's name. And we'll call her Susan. Mind you, when I was told that we were being evicted, it was by Roberto, and Roberto was telling me why, and his reason was that his best friend was not paying rent. And not only was his best friend not paying rent, but his cousin was giving all his money that he was making at work to child support. And that because of this, they were so behind. Let me backtrack real quick. I knew the apartment was in his sister's name, but I didn't know it was only in her name. You catch my drift? And y'all, because I had been paying rent this whole time, and, I just found out that the apartment was in his sister's name, I call her, and we talk for the first time, really. Yeah, we talk, and basically she tells me what I was told by Roberto, which was that the best friend wasn't paying rent, the cousin wasn't paying rent, and Roberto wasn't paying either. And that he was taking trips and ignoring her phone calls. And she didn't understand why we went through him anyway, and such and such and such, and basically told me I had another month to stay. Oh, wait, how could I forget? When I saw the eviction papers, by the way, we were told, all of us, or me and the best friend were told the rent was $2,800. We found out the rent was only $2,300. So yeah, there's that as well. But according to the best friend, she had been paying her rent, and I believe her. A week goes by and things start to go down. Like for part 3. Alright guys, welcome to part 3 of my roommate horror story and how I ended up on Judge Judy. Pretty much, yeah, let's get straight into it. So last thing I told y'all pretty much was like how the eviction process started and, just what led up to that and like, the weirdness about all that. But it was neither here nor there. All I knew was I had to move, and I was planning on doing so. Before we get into this part of the story, I have to mention a few things about Roberto. One being, currently Roberto is like booed up with this guy who's like DL, who I also used to talk to when I was like 15 before I met Roberto. Coincidence. And that's not the issue. The thing is, Roberto like would constantly make it a thing to mention that I used to date this guy who is cuddling up with him. You know, he makes it a thing like every time he talks about him. Oh, they dated. Oh, they dated. Like he's like he's proud of this or whatever. But that's one thing to mention. Second thing to mention, when you fraternize with him, or whenever anybody fraternizes with him about like people he's talking to, he has a thing for DL men in general, and basically like will tell you like, oh, you know, look at this guy, he has a daughter, or he has a wife or a girlfriend, and he, you know, look how he's flirting with me, and you know, stuff like that. But that's not the point. The point is to say these are things that I take note before I'm telling you this next part. So one night, me and my boyfriend at the time, who doesn't live with me, by the way, but he would come over, but not all the time, but he would be over there. Boyfriend at the time, we get into it, and on his way out the door that morning, he's all sad and shit, being fucking dramatic. And Roberto sees him and is like, hey, bro, what's up? What's up? Like, you good? And my boyfriend's like, yeah, basically, like, she don't want to be with me no more. You're not going to see me around. And Roberto's like, yeah, bro, do you? You handsome, you tall, you know, you handsome, you know, worry about you. Cause, you know, Nigel has some guy up there. Nigel had a guy over. Oh, yeah, and he was light-skinned. Yeah, he was light-skinned. Oh. And basic conversation lasted a few minutes, and then they part ways. And I found out about this conversation later that night. And guys, of course, I'm fucking hurt. You know, I'm like, this is the homie. This is supposed to be my friend, my roommate. What the fuck going on here? Regardless if I had a nigga up here or not, what the fuck is going on here? All right, guys, I'm running out of time. I'm going to go ahead and do part 4 right now. So, yeah, guys, of course I feel away. And I'm just basically like, but it is what it is. We getting evicted. I ain't got to see this motherfucker again. He was getting transferred from the job. So I'm like, oh, yes, so I'll be good. I ain't got to, like, you're weird. Like, you're no longer my friend. And I never told him that I knew about the conversation. I just kind of just didn't see him. You know, I was on the 3rd floor. My room was the only one up there. Everybody else was downstairs. So there was no reason for me to talk to bro. So one night, y'all, I'm basically giving myself some mini twist. And I'm doing my hair privately in the confinements of my space that I pay for. And I'm watching Netflix. My back is like face like this, like that's the door. My back is like watching my computer screen and doing my hair, like, you know. And Roberto walks to my door in just his underwear, you know, butt booty naked, but just his underwear, on speakerphone with some broad. And I'm basically like, what's up? He just stands there still talking to the girl on the phone, not saying anything, what he wants, you know, in his underwear. And I'm like, what's up? He just puts his finger up. I'm like, what's up? He just puts his finger up, expecting me to wait. And I close the door. I close the door in his face. Yes. So after I close the door, he's basically like, oh, open the door. I open the door, like, you ready to talk? And he like, go up, blew the fuck up. Basically was just like, bitch, don't be slamming the door in my face. Bitch, I come up here to fuck to you. Blase, blase. We got into an argument. I'm basically like, you still didn't tell me what the fuck you wanted. Like, for real. And he was just like, blah, 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 utilities and that go. And it was a whole thing, and he walks away. He storms off, may I say. He storms off, and then a few moments later, I receive this text. And then a few moments after that, my boyfriend at the time sends me a text or DM that he received from Roberto. And here it is. So it's like, first of all, why do you feel like you can just be hitting up my nigga that you don't know for real? That's not the point. I get this screenshot. I'm like, wait, hold on. Why are there messages above this message? What the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, send me this right now, screen recording. So he sends me a screen recording, and forgive me, but you know how people slow, right? Like, people be slow. Like, my boyfriend, time slow. He gonna DM this fool, basically like, thank you for the talk. And Roberto's like, if you ever want to smoke and chill, let me know. All right, guys, I'm running out of time. I'm gonna be right back with part 5. So guys, basically after that, I'm not gonna hold you. I broke up with my boyfriend. I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like, why did you DM to say thank you if you already saw him in person and say goodbye and thank you in person? Like, what was the reason for you to DM this guy and say thank you? And I don't, no, not fucking with it. It's not happening. Not to mention, we've discussed that he likes GL men, and we know he's not bisexual. This is a gay male, like. And then you liking the message where he talking about some smoke and chill. Smoke, you want to smoke and talk. You liking the message, like, miss me, please. Of course, like, I can go to a whole nother thing of, that, but we just gonna get into Roberto. So basically, I broke up with him, and he wasn't happy about that. And the messages that I told you guys where he basically hit him up was like, I don't fuck with Niger G, she annoying, blase blase. After I closed the door in his face because he was standing in my doorway with underwear on, with nothing to say. He finally responded to that after like a day or so, and basically told him, you just set up, like, you're messy. I genuinely was like blase blase, but you a hater for real. You ain't got no real niggas in your life, etc., etc. And this is all happening while I'm at work. So y'all just seen those messages. Nowhere in the messages does, my boyfriend at the time threaten him or like tell him like, look, bro, I need a fade. Like, none of that. It's really him telling like, you's a weirdo. Like, you's a weirdo. So guys, I get off of work around like 4. I got off at like 3, didn't really get in and sleep till like 4 something. Slept, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, guys. At 7 o'clock in the morning, I hear a bang, 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 chicka, bang, 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 chicka, bang, 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 bang on my door. And it was 7:15 to be exact, because when I heard that chicka bang bang on my freaking door, I looked at my clock like, hold on. Like, what was happening? So he put this hole in my door in that process. So basically, he's banging on my door, asking if my boyfriend at the time's in there, and how he's gonna beat his behind, and how he got something for me, and he got something for him, and how he knocked niggas out, and all this. The 6'4" male is banging on my door, asking to beat me up, and my boyfriend. So I grab my bottle. I look. There's a bottle on the floor. I grab it. I open my door. We're gonna get to the next part. I keep trying to upload this video. I've already filmed like all the story times, but they're not trying to upload, and I'm not gonna hold you. They just disappeared, so now I'm upset. But yeah. So I grabbed the bottle, and basically we're arguing, and I called my boyfriend at the time, and I'm basically like, Roberto was here threatening me and looking for you. He's like, yeah, I know, and he sends me these messages right here that Roberto sent to him. So clearly you saw Roberto was sending out threats, trying to fight, all that other stuff, and he was threatening me in my face. Whole time I'm texting his sister like, can you get your brother? Like, your brother is tripping. Can you get him? And she like, I don't know why he gets like this, because this is a thing that he does. And, then when I see that Roberto was not leaving me alone, I call my dad. My dad's like, what? And he calls my brother. My brother calls me, and he's like, look, I'm on my way to work. Do you need me to stop by? I'm like, yeah, fuck it. So my brother pulls up. He doesn't know the apartment. He doesn't know what anybody looks like. He doesn't know where it is. He really doesn't know anything. So he waits outside for me to come outside and meet him. Right? So from my brother's perspective, he's outside waiting. And then Roberto comes out, but he doesn't know what Roberto looks like. He just knows some tall, linky motherfucker comes out and tells him, I don't know what she told you, bro, but it is not it. And then ran into the door and into his room and locked it. So my brother's like, come outside, bro. Like, we can talk it out. We can duke it out. But I seen the messages. You're tripping. Like, what's going on? You're a grown ass man. What are you doing? My brother does not want to come outside. So my brother's like, I gotta go to work. Peace out. Pretty much. Like, if you need me, call me. But seems like he don't want no smoke. So I'm like, clearly, right? Whatever. Bye. My boyfriend pulls up with his friend because Roberto's in the room with his cousin. They don't want to come outside. We're telling them to come outside. You done sent all these threats. You said you're going to shoot me. You're going to beat me up. You're going to knock niggas out. All this. But you don't want to come outside at all. So we're like, we don't need to do this no more. We're going to go smoke. We're going to chill out and have the rest of our day. Like, period. As we're walking to the car to go smoke, guess who freaking pull up? The police. The police pull up. So yeah, so when all this happened, when I found out I was on Foresight Tires, it was like 6:30ish, and basically tire shops was closing up. I couldn't get a tow in time to come and take me to a tire shop, and also I needed a flatbed, and flatbeds are rare comparatively. And yeah, I couldn't get my car out of the garage that night, and there was no electricity in the house. Couldn't charge my phone. Couldn't stay there. So when my boyfriend left work and finally came and got me, we went to get food and basically chilled in the car. I finally got my phone to turn on. We chilled in the car and just make sure like Roberto wasn't on no weird stuff still, right? And after that, I kind of like secured my room, and then I had him take me somewhere else to go to sleep, which was my uncle's house. I had to sleep somewhere else, and then he went home, right? Oh, guys, I forgot to tell you. Meanwhile, while this is happening, Roberto's on his whole little cyberbullying moment he has going on. Just getting on the internet, just like lying, just talking the ultimate of mess at this point. He even posted like the only thing dirty is her panties, and like posted some panties, right? But y'all, when I typed in dirty panties on a white shelf, the first picture to pop up was the picture he used, and I'm like, so you're a lazy liar, and you're weird, and you're misogynistic, because truth be told, why are you taking pictures of my panties if they were real? Why are you doing that? But I'm gonna show y'all that. And then you're gonna basically see like his story of him going on this rant talking about how he want to get me touched and the green light this and green light that. He's posting how he took all his stuff and packed all his stuff and checked into a 5-star hotel, and how he turned off electricity, just telling on himself. But like, bro, what are you doing? But yeah, so the next morning comes, I go get my car. I go there early in the morning to get my car because I gotta go. And I'm not trying to be around. I'm not trying to be around. Nobody is around. And I also plan to go to U-Haul. So after the tow truck takes us to a tow across town, because they were the only ones open super duper early, we ended up waiting forever because I also get a wheel alignment, but the guy who had to do it was not there. We waited there forever. Went and got food finally after, and then from there went to the U-Haul spot to get me a truck so I can get my stuff and I can go. While I'm at the U-Haul spot, his sister texts me like the apartment's messed up. And I'm in shock. I'm like, call me. What the fuck? And so we're on the phone. She was like, yeah, the apartment's messed up. I'm like, girl, I do not give a fuck. I'm basically like, he done pissed off multiple people. I don't know what's going on with your brother, but is my stuff okay? Like, and I told her, I said, basically, I'm on my way. I'm having somebody else pull up first, which was my boyfriend, and I'm about to be pulling up with my brother so that they can help me pack my shit and go.
All right, cool. I'm sorry I've been late, but y'all, the story just added like chapters to it. Like, he's still harassing me to this day. And honestly, whatever. But we're going to get back to the story. So after his sister texted me and said the apartment was messed up, and my boyfriend at the time, basically went over there to make sure my shit was okay. He gets, well, this is at this point from his perspective, but he says he gets there. He sees some girl standing at a car, like 2 cars in front of him, out a window. But he doesn't think anything of it. He goes into the apartment, but like it's empty, but it's trashed. And he said that it was trashed. And the sister wasn't there, the one that texted us. No one was there. It was empty. And he goes upstairs to go see if my stuff's okay. And he tells me my stuff's okay. And he's telling me like how the apartment is and all that. And when he goes back downstairs, Roberto, but to be honest, I don't even give a fuck anymore about his name. Roberto Carlosi, whatever the fuck, was came in through the door with like some females, and when he went down like all the way down the steps, police came in through like right behind them, and basically guns drawn, put their guns in his face, and was like, we were told there were 6 men up here. Where is everybody at? Like we were told there were 6. You had people upstairs, like with you, like, you know. And where's everybody at? And he's like, I don't have nobody up there. He's like, well, we're gonna see, but are you sure and all that? And he's like, yeah, there ain't nobody here. I just got here type. And so they go upstairs, like they bust in there and they don't see nobody, and they're like, okay. So at this point, I'm speeding. I'm in the U-Haul, speeding to go like over there. Like, what? Like, what's going on? And I'm ready to fight, to be honest, because the last thing I heard on the phone was he had brought some bitches. Like, he just hung up the phone and then like just went click. Like, you know, something happened. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, yeah. I get there and it's like basically swarming with police, like swarming. Like the first time they came, it was a little bit. This time they came, it was a lot of it, you know? So I'm like asking them what happened, like what happened? And they're like, do you live here? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, are your things upstairs? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what happened to the apartment? I'm like, what happened to the apartment? Like, to be honest with you, I don't know. So after that, I'm like waiting outside, waiting for my boyfriend to come outside. Like, you know, they're like, well, they have him in cuffs, but they're not letting him all out, like, for whatever reason. I don't know. But basically, they're waiting for him to come outside, and they're just, like, asking us questions, keep asking us questions. I'm like, bro. And then he's like, why is your stuff the only thing that's not messed up? I'm like, what? Like, to be honest, I don't know shit. Like, I ain't even seen the apartment. And they're like, well, you know, they can't do anything. And I was telling them, like, about what happened previously. And they were like, well, are you moving? And I was like, yeah, that's why I just came from the U-Haul. Like, I just came from the U-Haul. Like, I have the truck right here. And all this stuff, right? Like, I'm telling them that. Like, we both just came from U-Haul. Like, he just came in his car first when his, you know, sister texted that the apartments were messed up. Like, you know, and so they let him out of cuffs and he came outside. And we're just, like, talking about it. And I just, like, we're, like, honestly super fucking flabbergasted. And we just really can't believe what the freak is going on right now. So, basically, after, like, hours, y'all, hours of being out there talking about nothing, like, nothing's getting done. I'm just trying to pack my stuff. After hours, they walk up to me and they're basically like, do you know anything about a bag of jewelry? And I'm like, what? Like, really, that was my face. Like, I swear to God. I was like, what are you talking about right now? And they're like, yeah, he claims that you stole a bag of jewelry and that his sister saw you do it. And I'm like, these lying ass niggas. Like, I'm like, y'all want to check my car? Like, what we doing? Like, and so the chief is basically like, we're going to put you under a citizen's arrest, like a PPA or whatever, because there's no proof. But because he claimed that he had a witness, his sister claimed she saw it, then they had the grounds to arrest me, right? So I go, and y'all, I'm super fucking shook. Like, I'm shook. And as they're, like, arresting me, he's sitting there laughing, taking videos, like, and he looks at me. I look up at this motherfucker. He looks at me, he says, he's like, literally, like, and I'm like, this motherfucker, like, my mama told me about niggas like you. So, y'all, I do want to make note of, like, you know, his sister did fucking text me and told me to tell her when I was pulling up and told me that the apartment was messed up. And when my boyfriend got there, you weren't even there, bitch. And within 5 minutes, the police were coming through the front door, like, guns drawn, thinking there were people there. Like, this is crazy. But And on top of that, like, when it don't work out, motherfucker, you tell them that I stole a bag of jewelry that you know I ain't steal, motherfucker. You wear all your jewelry on your neck, nigga. What is you talking about? Like, and you posted that you took your shit and left and went to a hotel. You posted that. So if you took your stuff, why did you leave behind a bag of jewelry? And you got your sister claiming she's something. But that's not the point. We're gonna get back to the story. So after they let me out and they told me I could sue him and stuff, I got picked up with my boyfriend. We went back. No one was there, thank God. I saw the apartment. It was freaking trash. I'm probably gonna drop pictures in the next story time when I you know. But the apartment was fucking trash, and like the police kept saying like my spot was the only one that wasn't ruined, but like that wasn't true, because like all the other roommates, all their stuff was fine, and my stuff actually was touched. Like shit was missing. I had a jar of weed. It was gone. It was like display weed somebody gave me as a gift. I was like, this shit trash. Put that shit in the jar, and I put it in display. And this nigga took it. Took my fast charger. He took my birth certificate, my expired ID. I had my car tags in there, and they took those. Like, just, it's like a bunch of shit. Like, which to be honest, I don't even really, just thinking about it right now just kind of triggered me. But neither here nor there, I packed my shit that night and I got the fuck on, and I didn't even look back.